Okay, in this video we're going to be adding a crossover. I just got into a clean seed file and named it Corridor. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference in alignment and a 3D topo file that contains the terrain. So I'll just point to the surveys folder, add both of them. Okay. And now I will do a fit view. Check out what we have here. Looks like there's two terrains in this file. Might turn a couple things off so I can see what I'm doing here. Maybe those, I'll turn these off also so I can see what's going on. All right. Okay, well, the first thing that I'm going to need is probably need my own alignment in a sense because I need this alignment to be profiled. So I would normally do this in an alignment file. I'm just going to do it here for training purposes. So here's how we're going to create that alignment. You could either create the entire thing or do a partial of it. I'm just going to do a partial since I'm only working in this area right now. So I'm going to do a single offset partial. Notice I set my feature definition to alignment. I select the alignment. I'm going to actually snap to that station value because after I get this alignment stored, it may not. Oh, it mirrored it. Yep, don't need a mirror. Okay, it may not have kept the stationing. Let's check real quick. Not a problem if it did not. So, oh, nope, it did not. So in that case, well, let's go ahead and should have been set to 0. So we move that alignment at 0. We no longer need the alignment that I referenced in. So I think I'll go ahead and just detach that. All right. And we know that I started at station, I think it was 23. Let me check that real quick. Let me just reference that back in. I'm fairly certain it was 23 or 22, 23. Oh, 22. Okay. Good thing I checked. Okay. I'm going to detach that then. Okay, let's go to geometry and then modify, start station. And here we're going to select it, 0 distance. We want that stationing to be 22 plus 0, 0. And so now our stationing is what it needs to be. Okay, let's also make sure that topo is turned on here. Looks like it may have turned off too many levels. So let's go back to level display. And we'll turn everything just back on now. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to make that terrain active because right now I'm just sitting in a 2D file, right? So the moment I make this terrain the active terrain, it's going to add that 3D model, right? See, so now we have both. So now I can right click, view control, 3D, do a fit view, and there we go. Okay, let's come over here. Come back here. So we got our 2D on our left, 3D on our right. Okay. As I said, I think I'm going to turn off these triangles so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, turn a few things off. Let's see. All right. So now I know what the user wants to not change the profile at all of the existing pavement. We just want to add just the crossover only. So let's go ahead and place ourselves in edge of pavement line at that inside edge of pavement. And so I'm going to go linear roadway. Let's see, pavement. Where to go? Pavement, edge of pavement. All right. So now we got our feature definition set. I'm going to go to the geometry tab. I'll just do the entire element. I think the offset was 23. I can change this later if that wasn't it. We are going to mirror it. So let's select the alignment, and yeah, it looks like that was the correct offset. I can mirror it. All right, that looks right. And so next I'm going to need to profile these lines. So let's bring up a profile window, and let's make just the existing active for now. We can change that later if we like. If it just gives us the ability to get started here, we can change our active profile later if we need to. Okay, so by making using the existing terrain to make that the active profile, I should be able to see that over here in my 3D view, which you can. Maybe I'll change this lighting to something else. Yeah, maybe that'll work better. Okay. So there, we can see our inside edge of pavements. That inside edge of pavement is profiled. Let's see. Let's do the same with our alignment. Did we do that yet? Did we make that our act? I'm not sure. Let me check. I don't remember if we also made our center line. No, we did not. So I'm going to make that active also. So now there is a profile for our center line, and there you can see it in the middle, and because it's using the existing terrain, that's just where it's going to show up for now. Okay, next let's go ahead and determine what template that we're going to use. So we're going to go to corridors, template. Okay, if we look in the IDOT library, we can go to components, crossovers, and then we're going to use one of these. I think we're going to end up changing it. No matter, I could probably grab any of these. It's probably not going to matter because I'm going to end up changing most of it probably. So let's just paste it down into our projects area here. And let's open it up. And let's see what we need to do to make it work here. Okay. Well, we're going to be starting off at this point here, and so we're not going to need any constraints at all. And so that means it's going to start at the center line and use the active profile. That's fine. So let's look at these edge of pavements here. And so here, as far as my constraint goes, I'm going to set it to something. It's not really going to matter because I'll show you that we're going to override this with a point control anyway. So I'm just going to select whatever, just so there is a constraint to start off with it. I may be able to get by without doing this, but I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and just do it to be safe. I'm just going to set that constraint from this do not construct seek point that's at the center line there. And okay. So let's go ahead and get started. The user mentioned they want the slopes to be 2%, which that works. Okay, there's no feature definition set for some reason. So let's go ahead and we'll select, I get anything here, existing center line, just to get something so it gives us a feature definition of some sort. All right, that's fine. And as far as our constraints go, we're going to need a horizontal and a slope here. So let's go ahead and horizontally, we're just going to be straight down from that point. So 0, that works. The slope, though, we want to be from this point here, and we want that to be -2%. Okay, so we should be good there, and I think that's all we need to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. I'm going to get out of the template here. Then we're going to go back to our corridor file. We are going to add a new corridor. Let's see, it's not showing a profile. Let's see, let me make sure we've got this profiled. We're going to select the baseline. We'll go reset for active. And yeah, that should be fine. And then as far as the template that we're going to use, that's the one that we just worked on, straight one. Okay, accept it. Where do I want to start? You know, wherever, here. And then I see that it has been placed for me. Let's see, how's that looking? If I turn off these triangles, can I see that a little bit better? Yeah, I can see that worked. And so next I need to control, because you can see that I just went with the default on that edge of pavement, that inside edge of pavement for both northbound, southbound, or eastbound, westbound, whatever. And so what I need to do is I'm going to create a couple point controls to control that inside edge of pavement both vertically and horizontally. And so in order to do that, I can just select my corridor. I'll go over to my tools over here, and let's see which one's point control, that one there. And then we can get started here. It says what from where to where, just beginning to end, I guess, is fine. Locate the point. I should have brought up my cross section. That would have made it easier. I could have just selected it there. But we can also go with here. Let's see, left. Can I tell what's what? I'm not absolutely positive. So why don't we go ahead and exit out of that point control for a sec and just go ahead and bring up that cross section. That'll make it a little bit easier for us. And so we'll just stick a cross section in one of these views. Okay, we'll go with this one. Okay, there we go. I know it's super exaggerated, whatever. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, so let's go back to our point control again. So at that corridor, and usually you get that pop-up tool. If you ever don't, just go to the bucket and you can bring that up, and then it shows you all the corridor objects if you like. We can also get to point control this way. So we're going to add a point control beginning to end here. And then it says locate the point. Okay, so all I do is I just hover. You can kind of see that little blue in there. That's the point. I just hover over it, data point on it. And then you can see that it said left edge of pavement. So it's telling me that is the point that was used. And I'm going to control that point both horizontally and vertically. So yes, I want to go linear. I'll just select that element. No, yes, no offset, all good, just left throughout. And so what should have happened there, like it did, is it automatically jumped over to this point here. Now let's do the same on the other side. So we'll create another point control. And again, we're going to give the station range, and then same thing, we're going to grab that point, control that both horizontally and vertically, linear, select the line, left click all the way through this thing, and so now that has been adjusted. And then let's see, we based our 2% from here. Now, I didn't constrain both sides. I know they want both sides to be roughly 2%, but that just really depends, I guess, on the situation. Oh, there we go. As I get closer to where we're actually building this thing, you can see that the left and right edge of pavement might not be exact, and so there's no way to get an exact 2% on both sides, but we are holding a constraint at least on one side. So let's just bring up some temporary dimensions here. And then there we can see that we've got 2% there, but I'm guessing the other side's probably not exactly 2%. And it's only 1%. Okay, and that's just the way it has to be. Now we can adjust this, but based on the elevation of the inside edge pavements, there's just no way to hold the constraint at 2% at both. It's like something has to give, and so what's giving is, in this case, one side. And that's what I'm going to start off with. As a designer, I could, make a decision to make adjustments to this corridor appropriately. If I don't want one side to be 2, one side to be 1, maybe I want to split the difference, whatever I want to do. But I'm going to be content with this for now and just leave it as is and leave it at that. And that is how I would add a corridor here. Let me show you one other thing real quick, and that would be, let's say in this case, because I believe they are going to resurface both the eastbound and the westbound lanes. So if that was the case, I could go in to that point that I'm controlling, and and we just use the inside edge of pavement, or we use the terrain, right? So I really could have, if I wanted to, went to geometry, use my vertical tools over here, and just really, let's see, where's that? Created a profile at this offset transition, and then whatever that, overlay thickness is going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. Let me just set it. It's probably not quite that much. We'll just set it at 0.25 just to have something. And so then let's go ahead and store a proposed profile. And then now instead, I'm going to make that the active profile. And I would do the same for both, but let's take a quick look at that cross section again. Okay, let's go up to corridors, cross section. I'll do it this way. And let's see, did that raise? I can see the profiles up there, but it did not raise. And I thought I controlled that vertically and horizontally. Let's see. Okay, why did it not jump up there? Let's take a quick look at this. Okay. Okay, a great way to figure this out if there's a problem. See, in this case, you can see the point, and I thought I used the active profile, so that would normally just jump right up to it. But a great way to analyze this, to try to figure out the problem, is to just go to that bucket again, select your corridor, and then check out those point controls that were set. And if I look at the right side, I can see it's the active profile, which is what I wanted. If I look at the left side, it says unnamed. I'm going to go ahead and just select that profile element. It wasn't using the active profile for some reason, so I just went ahead and changed it in the bucket. And once I do that, yeah, you could see right there that it just jumped right up to it. But now we should be able to do the same thing, with the other side real quick. We can go ahead and create an additional I was going to say point control, but really we're just going to change the active profile over here, again, from that existing to, if I go to geometry, offset, select the existing, create that profile that's parallel to the existing, and then hopefully right when I make that the active profile, and I look at the cross section, I could have just kept that up in a separate view. Oh, I can see there that it didn't grab it either. I'm not sure what's up with that. Normally it would just grab the active, but being it did not, no problem. we just go down to our point control here, and I'm going to say, I'm going to check profile element to make sure it's just pointing to the correct profile, because I want that proposed to be my new profile grade line. So there we go. I guess I could go further. If you wanted to label this, we could do that. Nah, we'll stop it there. We won't get into labeling, but in any case, that is how you would go about creating a corridor of a crossover.